This conference will now be recorded.
Yeah, go ahead, Faisal.
Okay, so one of the questions that I had was like, how do we expect students to access environments to train and practice for, like, example, labs, homeworks that we would do? Are we going to be provided like access credentials to go into an environment, or do we need to construct these on our own machine?
Yeah. Yes. So basically, whatever we will be doing, right, we will be setting it up on our local machine.
So
So the
when you
whole,
say, hang on,
yeah.
when you
So
say
the whole,
I have to do myself, or you're going to tell me access this one
I will be telling you. I will be showing you. So you should just follow whatever I am showing. That's it.
on my machine?
Yes, yes, on your
So
local machine.
I need to install certain software on my machine. Can I
Yes,
know
exactly.
what they are?
Yeah. So for example, we have to install a Kubernetes cluster, right, which is a mini cube on your system. Then we have to put the agents of Gremlin onto it, and similarly, Chaos Mesh, Grafana, Prometheus, all these on your local machine. We will be seeing AWS Cloud in a high level way. So for those who are not aware about the cloud, right, what is AWS and all.
Yeah.
But majorly things will happen on your local machine on the local Kubernetes cluster.
Okay.
Yeah.
Um, are you going to teach us on how to create like a virtual? So I'm
Yes.
using
Yes.
my work
Yeah.
laptop to access it. So I think there'll be some certain restrictions that may
Right.
prevent.
Right. Yeah. So only
So
thing is you might have to raise a ticket to install a software called Minikube. Now
mini.
that's a very common software. Many people use it. It's a development application,
Okay.
open source. So surely it will be there in your software center. I mean,
Is
like
there a way that you can send us these things? So I appreciate that I need to start. I need to pay you some money, and I'm on board with doing that. But I think that I need to understand what's the technical requirements for your machine to be capable of doing, and be able
mm,
to call
mm,
them and say, "I'm good to go," and
right,
thumbs up.
right. It
How do
should
we
be
do
minimum 16 GB RAM and i5 plus processors. Any i5, i7. 16 GB RAM is the only prerequisite as per the machine is concerned.
that? Yeah.
And Windows, if
Are
possible.
I able to, like, are you able to maybe, so I've got an AWS account, right? And they're open, so they're free tier. Is it possible to create these sort of machines?
No, no, because in free tier you don't get the machine that powerful. You will
Okay.
get a lower version of instance, right? So that is not that you. I mean, like we cannot run our softwares there. It's
Yeah.
difficult. So
Okay.
that's why we are doing it on local, so that you don't need to spend any money on it, right?
Okay. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Money's a big thing, right? So I think back of
yeah.
this call, I think if you can help us to help understand what are the installations that are required for this
Mhm.
course, and how do
Yes,
we
yes.
start doing those, and then give me some sort of indicator as to what sort of labs and what sort of practices we need to undertake as part of it. So
Sure, sure. Yes, yes. So that's what we will be seeing today, right? We will be now, since it's a day three, a day two, I guess, right? After the
yeah,
demo.
two.
So we'll be continuing with that, and we'll be seeing some course related stuff today. I mean,
Okay.
like more sort of how what all you will need, prerequisites, and how you will set it up, and some starting, right? For example, we will start off with Gremlin today. So few things we will see today and
Okay.
tomorrow, 2 days. Yeah.
Um, on the other thing is, so on our last call, you mentioned about Gremlin, and
Mhm.
I went and I did the Gremlin course, and I got myself certified on that. So it's a bit of a plus. For thank you for letting me know that. One of the other things was that I wanted to understand that for an SRE role, it mentions technologies such as scripting, as in Bash scripting, as in Linux scripting, as well as other things. Are you going to touch on those?
Yeah, so scripting wise, I won't be touching much on Linux and all, but surely we'll be using some commands and all, and I can share you some materials, some cheat sheets about Linux commands and all, and even kubectl cheat sheet I will share, commands related to kubectl. But scripting as such, I won't be covering much. Only scripting little bit which we will be covering is on the YAML.
And what you mentioned, Docker. We're going to use Docker, right?
Yes,
So you
yes,
can tell us
Docker,
how to
right?
use
Yes.
Docker.
So that also, see, basically now this course is modeled in such a way that it's not too much heavy on the coding part. It's
Okay.
more on the, yeah, the
I don't
scripting.
mind. I don't. I like coding because I write a bit of Python, and I
Yes,
think I'm okay
yes,
with
yes,
it.
yes, yes. So you basically see if you like coding, there are some tools like Chaos Toolkit which will need coding. Okay, so
You're not
which
the
But
will
in
which
Uh,
we have chosen doesn't require much of a coding.
you're not very. You need to get close to the mic to hear you.
Oh, okay. I'm audible now?
Yes.
Yeah. So what I'm saying
Yeah.
is, so the course, this one we have modeled in such a way that you don't need to know much of a coding with the tools what we are using. Okay. But let's say now if you are working with some tools like Chaos Toolkit, surely their coding will come into picture because of the Grove programming and all. What you need. So with Gremlin and Chaos Mesh, you don't need much of a coding. That's what I meant.
I understand.
Yeah.
So are we going to install the kubectl? Means are we going to start working from the scratch, like installing the kubectl,
Yes, yes,
then,
exactly. Yes.
right?
So we
Yeah,
will be
thank you.
installing all these things and from scratch we'll be starting. So basically, as I said in the first session, if I remember, so whatever will be even if I call out one tool, anything, right?
Mm,
That tool we
yeah,
will be setting it up with like as a hands-on. Okay, we will not be. I mean, like it's not anything. Nothing is theoretical here. Okay, so
Mm.
everything,
okay,
whatever I will do, and you don't need to do anything out of this course also. I mean, like
yeah,
whatever I will show, you have to do that. That's all. So you don't need to.
okay,
It's not that I will give a material, share with you, and you. I will go. I will say read and come back. No, that will not be
oh,
happening. Whatever we
okay.
will see, will be seen in this course. That's all.
Okay.
Okay.
So part of the skill sets that I'm kind of like expect my expectations will be: are we going to do some Ansible? Are we going to do? We're going to do definitely do Kubernetes. We're going to do some Docker. Are we going to do some Terraforming?
No, no. Those languages we are not covering because of the course scope. Like it's a 20 hours course. So main focus is on chaos engineering, right? So
Yeah.
our focus is more on the chaos engineering principles, attacks, how
Okay.
to develop the chaos engineering use cases, how to use the tools, Gremlin and Chaos Mesh. That will be our focus, right?
Okay.
So it's more sort of, see, if you need to go with that Ansible and all those things, you need to go one more course which is maybe more focused on the SRE role,
Yeah. So you've
right?
got one of those, right? You've got an
Yes, yeah.
SRE focus. So maybe you can share those details with me, and maybe it might be
Mhm.
that I go on as an additional course after that one, go
Yeah.
and do the other one as
Yes.
well.
Correct. Correct. So
Right.
because as I said, so the SRE role is like it's a ocean. Okay, you need to know many more things, not only chaos engineering, right? It's like you need to know a bit of a
Oh no,
DevOps.
I understand.
Yeah.
No, I understand. It's a far more than just a technical role. It's around service transitioning, also including operational levels, monitoring, alerting, etc., etc. There's lots more.
Exactly. Right. Yeah.
It's a, it's
Yeah.
a what's it called? It's a theory of enhancing reliability of your solution
Yeah,
rather than
and
just
also as you said, Faisal, it's a very good point. You said that you actually like to code, right? Because in SRE roles, you should be in a. I mean, like if you're planning for an SRE role,
yeah,
not chaos engineering role.
yeah,
So
exactly.
see, basically nowadays we have two different roles. Okay, it's not just SRE. We have chaos engineering roles separately. Okay, so if you're planning for a role where you are just focusing on the I mean like SRE role and chaos engineering, then coding should be surely there, right? If you're planning for SRE,
Yeah, agree.
yeah. But if you're planning for chaos engineering, you don't need to know much of a coding,
But yeah, I understand. I think that it's a wider piece. SRE is a much larger piece, and it covers chaos engineering is one element, which kind of
yes,
lends
exactly,
itself
right,
to DevOps as
yeah,
well. So
exactly,
it's, especially in testing world, it's a very important piece on how do we
yeah,
break the
mm,
system and see reliability. So
yes, yeah,
I think that's the bulk of my questions. Maybe you can take some time to um, message me offline, and we can just go in through it as
sure, sure, yeah. I
maybe.
saw your message just
Yeah.
some time back because I'm not that. I mean, like sometimes whenever I work, I keep my mobile away.
No, much
Just
appreciated.
a
I'm
just a
sorry.
practice. But whenever I see the message, I will reply. Okay, I saw it just now. I will
Mhm.
reply. Okay.
Yeah, we mean in this, most of the people like in the organization, they are looking as the code like a free open source tool, right? So
Mm-hmm.
Vishnu sir.
Correct. Yeah. Yeah.
So in my organization, yes, we have means it's the SRE. I am the part of
Mm-hmm.
the SRE, but now they happen to tell me to take over this chaos engineering and explore
Mm-hmm.
available free source options. And
Okay.
that too,
Mm-hmm.
it's not like just manually we are writing something. I have to
Mm-hmm.
automate the
Yeah.
code, chaos as code, right?
Okay.
So that
Mm-hmm.
we will trigger into the Git repo, and then whenever we see the code changes, then it will come into the initiate, right? So that
Yeah.
was the part I am working. So like, is there any specific course you offer where we can spend some time hands on, like extra classes, spending the code and understanding the framework to design for this, for the chaos toolkit? We don't mind paying extra, but we are looking some
Got it,
extra
got it. Yeah, yeah. So,
classes.
yeah, so I don't have a course focusing on Chaos Toolkit, but surely I can share some whatever materials, or even I can get hold of some good, I mean, like maybe good courses and all, whichever you we can guide you to do
Hmm.
the with the Chaos Toolkit. But Chaos Mesh we are covering. It's an open source tool. You can
Hmm.
still think about that also. If you have a Kubernetes cluster and all, it's a very good tool. Chaos Mesh better
Yeah,
than
it's
Chaos
the
Toolkit.
yeah,
Yeah,
we are on the Kubernetes only.
yeah, because if
So
you
this
don't
is
have Kubernetes, then only I feel you should go with Chaos
Gremlin, huh?
Toolkit. Chaos
Okay,
Toolkit.
okay, okay.
Otherwise, you go with Chaos Mesh because it's far more easier and a good GUI and all. Okay, so
Hmm.
better. Chaos Toolkit requires a lot of technical. I mean, like for implementation, you
Yes,
have to spend a lot
exactly.
of time. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah,
Okay,
thank you.
so yeah.
So I
Yeah.
just
Thank
wanted to
you, Raj.
add that, Raj, it's lovely to meet you. I think it's really useful, especially if you're looking at chaos engineering. Vishnu mentioned around the Gremlin certification. It's like a 1.5 hour online training, and it's free, offered by Gremlin, and it gives you a breakdown of areas. The
Yeah. Mm.
the Git itself, it comes with some predetermined chaos tests that you can run on particular boxes, and you can close traffic and open traffic to cause chaos into the environment. But I think what you're asking for is, how do you go one step beyond that and understand the overall solution, how it works, and how do you inject particular failures into your solution? And that's where I think chaos engineering lends itself, of like, how do we do this?
Yeah, yeah, exactly, exactly. That's what. So we don't want to over hijack this meeting, Vishnu sir. Please go ahead. We are already running late, 15
Yeah.
minutes.
Yeah.
So with
Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry.
respect
Thank
to
you. Thank you,
everybody's
Raj.
time, please go ahead. Thank you.
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
Thanks everyone for
Yeah.
patiently listening to us. Thank you.
No, it's
Say
okay
this one.
because anyways, it's all a learning for all. So whatever it's as I said before also, sessions should actually move with interactions, not only
Yeah,
just by taking the classes. Because I have observed in my past 10, 15 batches, whenever there is interaction, we try to dig deeper. Otherwise,
yeah,
things will be more sort of like a monotonous. We just go with the syllabus, and we it's more like whenever an interaction happens, that is where new things come up. And even sometimes even the course gets mature, right? Because I still remember the first batch which I took, and we have come a long way from there to 15th batch, because 15th or 14th around that batches. Because I still remember that time when I started the first batch. That time there were a lot of like even the course how it was modeled, right? For
hmm,
example, the initial what we take, my like what so with the time what happened, that got refined, that okay, that proper order of taking, so that the like all whoever is attending understands the concept very well, right? The order matters a lot. Similarly,
yeah,
now I already know, okay, these questions will surely come, so I have already introduced that answers into the I mean like whatever I'm taking, right? Because like before you ask itself, that question is answered, because I know this question will surely come, right? Now the question, so think about like um, though I cover all the questions, still in every batch some new question will come, right? So that's the diversity and beauty of interaction. So
yeah.
yeah,
I
let's
know,
get
sir,
into it.
you happen to mention this course is with a lengthy of 20 classes, but
Hmm.
it will be great appreciated if you think of extending like whatever the 4 classes more,
Hmm.
having this code integration, right? I know that is not in the scope, but it
Hmm.
like a benefit of everybody. So at least 2 more classes. How do we achieve this one, right?
Hmm.
Code, Kayas as code,
Yeah.
because every
Hmm.
organization they don't look for the manual injection or
Hmm.
something.
Hmm.
They are like, even Gremlin I use it, they told okay, you go ahead and use the Gremlin, We are not here. We are not hesitant to pay the money for the gremlin, but you have
Yeah.
to be come up with the backend process triggering
Mm-hmm.
chaos as code, because
Okay.
the platform what I work is the product based and it works for the multiple regions
Mm-hmm.
across the world. So each
Okay.
region we cannot manually do these transactions. So each region we create the framework and we give it to them. Okay, you run this backend chaos, it will trigger the required test cases. So that's what
Got it.
the
Got it. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
ask is.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. I'm not promising now. Let's see how the
Yes, yeah,
course is going. But
yeah.
surely I will remember this. Okay.
And another one last question, I don't
Yeah.
interrupt more. Is there any possibility of moving this class to rather 7:30? Can we make it as 8:30? If
Actually,
possible.
I'm not that sure because these decisions are taken by the team. I don't
Yeah.
interfere much in that. So maybe you can put a message in the group, and generally they might not change. That's what I have
Hmm.
observed. But you can surely put this suggestion in the group. Maybe
Yeah,
they will look into
yeah,
it.
because 9 o'clock, like I mean 7:30
Mm.
IST, lot of conflicts with other courses
Yeah.
itself
Mm-hmm.
run by the Isha.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah, right, right. Yes, yes.
Thank you. Thank
Surely you can just mention them. Like this issue is there, but again, like in that case, I don't have much of a. I don't
Agreed,
interfere
agreed.
much.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, go ahead, sir. Thank you. Thank you so
sure,
much,
sure. Yeah,
guys.
Hey Vishnu, this is Ramesh. This
yeah.
is
Hi,
my
Ramesh.
day one. Did I miss like what was covered in the last two sessions?
So we had started with the course introduction and a gremlin attack. A few example we saw. That's what we finished. We did a basic experiment using gremlin in the last session. So you can go through the recording, Ramesh. The recording link already it's there in the group. You can go through that YouTube videos whenever you get time.
Okay, so you
Yeah.
mentioned about some WhatsApp chat and how do I create Gremlin account?
Yeah, so gremlin account, so basically what I'll be doing is once the private group is created, right, I will send you the invite to all of you. Okay, so that invite is basically to the gremlin enterprise license. So I have the enterprise license with me of gremlin. I will add all of you to that account.
Okay, that'll be
Yeah.
great. Thank you.
Yes, yes, yeah. So basically, generally I keep that. I mean, like I don't delete because I have 30 users license. So generally, unless my next batch starts and if it crosses beyond 30, then only I remove the users. And generally, you'll get a time of 2 months duration almost to just play around with whatever you learn. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Right. So let's get started. So in the first and second classes, we saw the basically chaos engineering in a very high level way. So what I want to do today is let me start with the module one. Okay. So I'll be sharing these materials with all of you. This all the commands and other things, whatever I'm using in this course, will be there in that drive link. Okay. So these materials, the Google Drive link, I'll be sharing with you all once our group is finalized. Okay. So let me open the module one. Okay. So module one actually covers more on the more sort of like it sets a base for your chaos engineering activities. Like basically, what is chaos engineering? The various principles of chaos engineering. And if you are a chaos engineer, what are the activities that you perform? Because that is very important for us to know. Because see, now chaos engineering is like a we can call it a testing practice, yeah, more sort of like a non-functional testing practice. We can put it into a group. Now we already have performance engineering, we already have, let's say, some accessibility testing, some disaster recovery testing, various testings we already have, right? So what is it that our objective should be as a chaos engineer different from those testing practices, right? That clarity we need to have, right? So for that, we need to understand what are the activities actually a chaos engineer performs, let's say in his roles and responsibilities, right? and the process of chaos engineering, how the chaos engineering really happens, what are the prerequisites, then some basic experiments, how you do that. So that we will be uh, understanding in module 1. Okay, so let's try to understand. First of all, let's start with introduction to chaos. Okay, now let's try to understand why we need chaos, right, in little in depth. Okay, now can someone say, like I am asking this question to all, okay, we already have a lot of traditional testing practices, right, okay, performance and all those. Why do you think we need one more testing like chaos engineering? Why do you think? What could be the reasons? You're like, what you feel maybe the reason.
So if I have to
Product.
answer this, is Raj, like most of the testing, we are either focusing functionally or
Mhm.
performance mostly from the server side applications, but we are not focusing what actually server will do if unexpected disasters or unexpected failovers are happening. So this chaos is mainly intentionally to focus from the infra side, infrastructure, so that our application will be stable. I'm not sure
Okay.
if I.
Right.
So
Okay. So that's a one point. Let's say I will just put app stability. Anything else? Any other points?
basically, we we are doing minimize the downtime in productions, early stage to
Okay.
identify
Let me
whether
take the keyword downtime. Okay. Next. Any other keywords?
Server stability.
Again, okay, let's keep this first point similar. Okay. Anything else?
So introducing failure into your system to understand how to mitigate them
Mitigate. Okay. Let's put that word here.
against
Mitigate.
failure. Yeah.
Mhm,
One good thing is resource provisioning. That
mhm,
comes for the cost optimization based on this chaos engineering will help us to do the like not over provisioning, not under
mhm.
provisioning. Based on the requirement, we can do the resource provisioning and cost optimization.
Okay. Let's say proper utilization. Okay. Okay. Now let's take these four examples. Okay. I mean, like four keywords. Now, this app stability, can you understand using performance testing? Can you?
So the question again.
So, like, let's say if I want to understand the application stability, okay, if it is that is the thing, can I understand that application stability using performance engineering or testing,
If you understand the
Yes,
root,
we can.
yeah.
right? Now, and let's say mitigation. Mitigation, let's say there are some disaster recovery testing and some other testing practices. Maybe that can uncover this mitigation, like how I can mitigate some problem if it happens, right? And proper utilization, again, let's say performance engineering and performance testing, we can do some capacity planning and all in a high level where their objective actually moves towards performance, right? But this downtime, yes, surely it has a meaning for chaos engineering. So let's try to understand now by putting all this into consideration. Let me explain that to you why we need chaos engineering first. Okay, so as I had explained in my demo session, chaos engineering is all about like a vaccine. Okay, so chaos engineering is all about precaution rather than cure, right? So what you're doing is, see, now let's say if a problem happens, let's say coronavirus hit us. Okay, now similar to coronavirus, there are a lot of other viruses, right? For example, I'm not getting quickly what that virus is, but we take some booster for children, right, when they are small, right? And it's for generally and some rabies virus and all different virus vaccines we take for children when they're small, right, kids. Now, why do we take this vaccine? Now I can cure, maybe, I mean, like, let's say rabies might not have a cure, but some other disease, if it has a cure, if we get that disease, let's cure it. But why do I need a vaccine? Like, why should I take a vaccine then? If we have a cure, better to take the cure, right? But we take vaccines because it's a precaution. It's always better because cure can be very, very, I mean, like, destructive, because we can't say, right, once you face a problem, how your body will respond. We don't know, right? But vaccine is actually more sort of like a precaution. So there your body will surely, I mean, like the probability of failure is very low in vaccine compared to cure. So in cure, probability of failure is very high, that that cure might not work, right? But vaccine probability of failure is very low. So most of the time vaccines works, right? Because that comes after a lot of experimentation and all. So similar thing works with chaos engineering also, right? So people might ask, okay, why do I need a vaccine for my application? Now the thing is, when an issue happens, my question to all of you is, when an issue happens, can you solve that issue? Can you solve that issue?
We can, but we require time.
Yes, exactly, right? Time, resource, all those things will be a difficult thing to handle. And if this issue is very big, now if I still remember when there was an issue with Amazon, okay, last year, there was an outage, and it was like, I remember still it was just 1 to 5 minutes around, okay, the outage really happened. And it was a big talk among our architect communities, okay. So they lost around 1.6 to $2 million in that 5 minutes of time. So do you think this $2 million is a small amount for that 5 minutes of downtime? Is it a small amount?
No, no.
It's a huge amount. But again, this $2 million was not the big concern of Amazon. What was the concern then? Can someone guess?
Customer retention.
Exactly, right? So that 5 minutes, the customers who were visiting Amazon just in India, okay, location, if you see, the count was almost 10 to 20 per second. Okay, so 5 minutes means, if you see per second into, like, if you convert it to 5 minutes, 600 into 5, it's almost, we can say, 3,000 people visited the Amazon. Now think about, now this is a small number only in India. Globally, it can be multiplied by 10, maybe, right? Who knows? Now the thing is, all these 10 people, what they saw, that Amazon is not working,
Yeah.
right? Now a big technology company like Amazon, a big e-commerce brand like Amazon, when they visit Amazon, they see some weird errors. So is it good for Amazon as a brand?
No, reputational damage.
No. Now this 3,000 people, out of that, even let's say 500 people or 100 people post it in social media, it's a total, I mean, like, it might be a big loss to their marketing, or I can say the brand itself, right? And that is one point. Second point, when this Amazon was not working, where do you think they would have gone? Maybe they would have gone to Flipkart,
Yes.
right? And out of this 2,000, maybe 100 people or maybe 200 customers were new customers, right? So these new customers, what they saw, oh, Amazon is not working, so they will never return back. They will stick to Flipkart. So this 200 customers, they might would have spent, right, maybe 20K per head in their lifetime. I mean, like, maybe with Amazon, they lost that whole revenue because of that. So are you getting, with just 5 minutes of downtime, the loss is huge. If I will say $2 million, but actually the loss to Amazon might be in $20 million with brand value and all those whatever they lost. Okay, now consider this $20 million. This $20 million they would have brought down to just maybe $2 million a year, the loss. Okay, by just having a proper chaos engineering team or a chaos engineering process for all their applications. Okay, now think about the ROI. If they had a chaos engineering team, from $20 million they would have saved $18 million, almost 80% of their loss due to downtime and other outages. Not only downtime, many other problems come. Okay, all those can be included in this. Now this $18 million, if you, let's say, take it as maybe you're paying someone. Okay, do you think $18 million will be the cost which they will be paying for the chaos engineering team? What do you think?
No.
No, in a year they might max maybe spend $2 million. That also very max. Okay, if they are in India, I mean, like if they are operating from India, $2 million is very huge. With just a team of 5 people, actually they can bring down the cost to this $2 million. So with just a 5 people team, their ROI is almost maybe right like 5 to 6 times, right? So that's how the chaos engineering can bring direct impact with brand value, the downtime cost which there. And the other thing is, see, whenever an issue happens for the first time, actually there is a total chaos, isn't it, in the team? If the issue is happening for the first time, especially in production, it's a chaos, right? Now my question to you is, let's say a issue happens. Okay, now Faisal is from the database team, and let's say Hari is from the orders backend team. Now the problem happened that suddenly ordering is not working, okay, on the application. Okay, now who will take the responsibility? Will Faisal take the responsibility or Hari will take the responsibility? Now for to understand this itself, it will take time, isn't it? Because Faisal will say, no, no, our DB is okay, all good. I don't, we don't think so. It's a problem with DB. Let the order backend check. Order backend will say DB is not properly communicating. But to get that proof, right, or to properly justify their statements, it will take time. That is one thing, right? Then proper handover will happen. The issue will get fixed. So in this, all this thing, one thing we will lose, and that is time. So in actual, downtime might be just 5 minutes. Okay, but to fix that issue, we might take 10 to 15 minutes, even rolling it back or bringing the system back, right? So real downtime might be just in minutes. Okay, the where the I mean like the real issue if we had that reflex, or if we had that proper process in place, we could have brought that 15 minutes downtime to maybe 2 minutes downtime by that proper automation and proper maybe healing, right, in the systems, and proper observation or proper observability of the systems, right? We could have bring down that 15 minutes to 2 minutes. Now to do all these things, do we need experimentation or not? That's my question.
Oh yeah, we do.
Yes, that's where chaos engineering comes into picture, right?
But,
We
but
do experimentation. That is very, very important. Okay, we don't do testing. Now, can someone say why chaos engineering is not a testing? What could be the reason? Like why we don't call it as a testing?
It is introducing of injectioning of
Hmm.
expected faults into the application, right?
Hmm. Can I say, let's say if I take testing, we know the actual, I mean, like we know whatever we are going to do, what is the expected outcome? Can I say that in testing?
yeah, you can. But I think that there's also testing of hypothesis, and this is what this is.
Exactly. So in
Uh,
testing, performance testing, let's say, or take any automation functional testing, we have an expected outcome and we compare our results with that, isn't it?
yeah.
Right? But what happens in chaos engineering is totally opposite. We never actually expect anything out of it. Only thing what we expect is a proper recovery of our system
But
in a
you have
specified SLA.
an expectation that a failure will occur, and how you, because the injection that you put in for the failure is going to
Mm.
cause you, so you know that your system is going to
No,
fail,
no, we
and
never. So
you're going to
that's
know
where the
where.
things become tricky. Okay. Now let's say if I am doing a latency attack, now with experience, I can say this is what I might observe, but that cannot be true at all when we do some things. Okay. Like for example, I have observed it in my career. Whenever we do it, latency attack, let's say I'm doing a latency attack. So we might see a RAM utilization failure, but we have also seen cascading failures in other microservices due to the latency attack,
Yeah, you don't know the
right?
blast radius.
So we cannot say that, okay, if I do this might happen. We cannot say at all. We can only say, okay, I am doing a latency attack to understand how the system will behave when there is a high latency.
Hmm.
Okay, we can never say, okay, I am doing a latency attack and what I will observe is a sudden ram ram running out of, or a cascading system issue. I cannot say that. That expected is not at all there in the picture. Okay, so it's more sort of like a experiment, but one thing is very, very important here. It is never a random one, and it's never unplanned. These two keywords are very important. Okay, it's not random, and it's not, it's not an unplanned one. It's a planned one, right? So whenever I run an experiment, I never do random experiments. Do you all agree with that?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, so it's a basically whatever experiment we will do, there will be a motive behind it. It's not that we will do just random whatever comes to our mind and then we will find out the issue. No, we will have a proper justification. Sorry, we will have a proper justification why we are doing it,
But
right?
going back to the story of Netflix and the introduction of chaos engineering, where they put the chaos monkeys in, they were
Exactly.
random. They would turn off certain features.
No, no. This random, I am not speaking about the targets. Okay.
Okay,
Here, the random I am speaking about is the use cases.
okay, I
Okay.
understand.
Yeah. So the random experiment, what I meant is, like, it's not that I will do all types of attacks and see how my system will behave. Doesn't have to be, right? Let's say there are 12 attacks, and let's say I have some 10 microservices, 10 into 12, 120 use cases, not required, right? It's not random, right? I am not doing in random. I will plan, right? Out of that 120 use cases, I have to filter it down to, let's say, 10 to 15 use cases based on proper justification, historic data, production analysis, right? And some techniques, some intuitions, right? And that's what we will learn in this course. Like how you can bring down that 120 use cases to this 15 use cases, which will in turn uncover a lot of potential issues in your system.
Is that like doing a risk assessment of your test cases and identifying the?
Yes, in a way we can say that. But what I'm saying is this is not random. Random means out of this 120 use case, let's say I don't have time to run 120, I can run only 10, 15.
Agreed.
So what I do is I randomly take some out of this 50, 120 and run. No, it never is like that. We actually do planned unrandom experiments, right? So now their planned is also very important. So I don't do anything unplanned, right? Let's say I'm running a experiment, latency experiment on order microservice. Okay. Suddenly, when I'm doing that, after that experiment, I feel okay. Let me run shutdown also. Never. That will never happen. Okay, it should be planned. Like you plan for latency, then you stick to latency, then you do analysis, you observe, you find the monitor it, then properly close it, then you plan the next one. It's not that when you're running itself you suddenly think, okay, I will just run a chat anyways, I am running it for the service, setup is already there, just I need to change the parameters. No, there has to be a proper plan what you are going to do, because with this proper plan there is lot of things linked. Okay, that we will discuss, like to call out few, how well our observability is. That is very, very big question, right? Can someone say what do we mean by this? Now let's say I have a use case which I am planning to test. If I don't have proper monitoring tools or proper systems in place to collect the events and logs related to that use case, will my chaos engineering give me anything out of it?
I don't understand the question.
Okay, so see, let's say I am running a latency attack
Yep.
on orders. order
Okay.
microservice. Okay, let's say I will explain what is microservice and all. Just for now, all of your understanding, I'm just using this example. Okay. Now the latency attack on order microservice, if I'm running, and let's say there's no monitoring setup for order at all. So will this, whatever I'm doing, will it be fruitful in any way?
No, you need to monitor your latency.
Yeah, exactly, right? So I need to have proper observability. So what do I mean by observability? Is observing a system, right? So I should have proper observability, that monitoring, that event collection, whatever I can, some logs which I can collect, some ways to, I should have enabled some logs, right? Whatever I can do to get that data of, like, when my attack, like during, before my attack, during my attack, after my attack. So
Mm.
before, during, after, I should have that proper like way to compare things. Then only I can come up with some solutions, come up, identify some issues, right? If that is not there, I cannot. Now this is where I said it should be planned,
Mm.
because with latency, let's say I go to shut down, but what about this? You didn't check that, right? Or if let's say suddenly I went to some other experiment like black hole attack, so
Mm.
is my dependent services monitoring available? We don't know, right? So those, that's why I said, so whatever you plan, you have to stick to that, because that plan has a lot of things linked to it. And what we will see is actually in the course, in the in upcoming sessions, we will have different checklist. Okay, so with that checklist, what you can do is, before you run an attack, you have to check that whatever checklist is there in that is already set up or not. And it's not that that checklist will be so difficult to set up and all. Any organization will have it. Okay, the checklist is something like that. More sort of, it's not like you need a paid tool and all for that, but some basic stuff, right? A basic checklist, what is required to run some attacks, that you have to follow. Okay, whenever you plan a use case, that we will anyways discuss in detail when we go to the uh, uh, test execution attack part and all. We will see that. Okay, so any questions, anyone till now? Now coming to the main point, then what is chaos engineering, right? Still we are there, right? So what is chaos engineering? So when someone asks me what is chaos engineering, I put it into two important keywords. One is recovery, and one is the UI, or I can say the accessibility features. Okay, now this one is little, you can just forget for some time. Okay, I will explain why I said the UI later on, but recovery is very, very important keyword for chaos. Okay, now let me explain you this. So, does anyone know what is disaster recovery testing, or
Yeah.
let's say failover testing? What do we mean by that?
Ups.
So what do we
Restoration.
do? So what do we do in that?
So um, during disaster recovery, you would mimic incidences in the world that will take down your system, and then you would make sure that the failover does get the backup and it does restore into a remote site that you could possibly reuse those services again that were recently went down.
Okay, so let's say if some service is, I mean, like in failover testing, it go, I mean, like, so what are we observing in failover?
So we're talking about disaster recovery because failover
Yeah.
in
Yes.
the when you go into do a pipeline and you send it out into production and you do full rollbacks and stuff like that is the difference, right? So
Because why I specifically called out this failover is, generally people get confused in testing because it is very similar to chaos. Okay, but the main thing they differ in is scope and maybe goals and the method. Okay, so for example, the objective of failover testing is to ensure, I can say, I can use a keyword, high availability, and also reliability, but by validating the system's ability to transition from workload to backup systems. Are you getting my point? So here what we are testing is, whatever my backup systems are there, right? how well my system switched to that. Is that part clear?
Yeah.
Yeah. But in chaos, we are not looking for that. Chaos, what we are worried more about is, let's say my CPU went down. I mean, like the CPU in which my application is running, it went down. Okay, in a very simple example, I'm explaining. So now, once it went down, it has to come back in, let's say, 5 minutes automatically. It's not that it is switching to backup system. This has to come. This has to come back on its own, and that is chaos engineering more about. So that's why I said recovery, right? It has to recover very gracefully in whatever SLA we have planned.
So
Because because let's say if it comes in 5 minutes, now it can come in 30 minutes, but is it of any use to us? No, right? So this SLA is very important for each, right? What is that SLA? That can cause minimum or minimal loss or minimal uh, uh, impact, right? That we need to analyze, and that's the whole. This thing is a actually, I mean, like what we do in chaos engineering, right? It is more on, we focus on how well or gracefully your system is able to recover from these things. Are
Does
you
that
getting my point?
does that include, like, for example, an EC2 system went down, how long it takes to restore your EC2 instance and then have it formatted with an OS and then have your application built and then start running? Does that
Could
that's
be,
all?
yes, yes, it can be, yes. Even properly rolling it back automatically, yes, that is there. Then also, like restarting your CPU automatically whenever some failure happens,
Yeah.
right? All those things, yes. But those are like the fixes, right? When you find an issue, you fix it using those things.
Okay.
Or those are like the implementation which is already there. So as a chaos engineer, what we do is we validate those, we find new issues so that we can implement new techniques for that issue. So these are the things we do. We will not provide any recommendation. Yes, you can, obviously, in a long run you can, like for example, exactly as you said, right? You can give them some recommendations of how you can solve an issue, but that is anyways the next step, right? First step is identifying the issue. So in chaos engineering, we focus on identifying the issue, and we do that using our chaos tools by injecting various failures into the system, right? So any questions, anyone, till now, whatever I explained? Any doubts?
But you'd get informed about how the backup strategies work, or the restoration strategy
Yes,
is
right.
informed from the analysis that you would do on the
Yeah.
experimental testing.
Yes.
There's lots to it.
Yes, exactly. Yes. So, so all these things. So once you keep doing things, once you become better at that, you will reach to a point where you will be able to give even recommendations, right? So that's the ultimate. I mean, like maybe the journey where you need to reach, where you can provide some auto healing recommendations and all. But that's a long run, not the initial one. Initially, you have to be really good at recreating failures, creating failures, and sometimes intuitively thinking about some failures which will happen in production, but you will test it beforehand, right? Before it happens in production. So these are the things you will mainly focus on. Now, see,
Well,
one important question all of you would have got. I'm using this word production always. So, is this question coming into your mind that will my customer or my client or my project or my organization allow me to test in prod or experiment in prod? Did this question come into
Never.
your mind? Did this question come to all of your mind?
it didn't, because I know that companies nowadays look at different types of deployment strategies using like canaries, dark features, and stuff like that
So this is where, yeah, this is where we have a proper strategy that we don't do. If you see, out of 800% of chaos engineering activity, we perform only 10% of our total activity in production. The rest of the 90 90% happens in other environments. Now that is the catch here. Okay, because based on what use case you are testing, actually you can leverage other environments for your chaos engineering and find various issues. Okay, then yeah, we will see that process. Okay, how generally it happens and how this thing, whatever I said, okay, works out. So what you need to know now is it's not only production. So if you see 90% of your effort is actually in other environments, not in production. And when I say other environments, it includes dev, it includes UT, it includes IT, it includes perf, let's say, even
Yes.
stage.
No, you
Okay.
wouldn't testing SIT?
Yes, yes. Even nowadays, we have one more very common environment for actually chaos engineering, that is pre-prod, built
Okay.
especially for chaos. Okay. So yes, so all these environments actually we leverage. So it's not that if you don't have any environment, then I cannot do chaos engineering. Actually, you can, right? Any of these environments, actually, you can, but only with environment, your use case will be defined. You cannot run every use case on every environment.
So
Based
should
on
we
the
be
use case, you have to
deriving
choose.
the use cases from post-mortems, post-mortems where we see
Yes.
such and such
Yeah.
failures in place, then we derive our
Yeah, we will see that. Yes, very good. Yeah, so we will be seeing something called postmortems and all, and how the postmortems. Even we will have to create one when we report and result. We create a result and all that we will see. There are something called SLOs, SLMs, not only SLA, right? So those things we will see. Okay, those are like more on the reporting side. So we are just starting off with understanding chaos, right? Then we will slowly get into the execution. Obviously, before that, the experimental setup, then execution, then reporting. Okay, but one thing all of you need to know in actual, right? People who do chaos engineering, they know this. Actually, chaos engineering is actually a very simple field. It's a simple domain, similar to performance testing and performance engineering, if I can. But
don't
only thing is you need that proper um, I mean, like I will use the word some guidance, or I can say some things to start off with, right? For example, how you create a test plan, because no one would have seen a chaos engine test plan yet, right? So getting hold of one is very difficult. So that is one thing. Like, and how do you define a use case? What are the principles of chaos? All might be speaking multiple things. So, but what really happens in real action in a project, right? So that maybe few might only be knowing, because it's still in a premature state, right? Chaos engineering. So all those things. So if you have proper guidance, actually, chaos engineering is very easy to be performed. And the other good thing is the competition in chaos engineering is actually very low, but demand is increasing, which is a very very good combination we have in the market. Okay, competition in chaos engineering is very low, but if you compare it with performance engineering, it is 1 is to 10, the competition. Okay, if you see the demand and supply of performance engineers, it's huge now. The supply is huge and demand is not that much. Actually, we are facing that problem. But proper skill, if you have, obviously yes, there is a demand. I'm not speaking about those people, but let's say the proper skill wise, if they lag, then obviously even performance engineering, it is very difficult to compete. Okay, but chaos engineering, if you see, the competition is very low, because still actually people are not that much aware the impact the chaos engineering actually brings on the table. And also, uh, the audience is not aware that the higher level management is actually looking forward to leverage chaos engineering in multiple ways, even for increasing their revenue, increasing their profitability, increasing the brand value, technical. Even if you see, actually chaos engineering is leveraged in the technical audits also. Now, what is a technical audit? Is generally like whenever you do some IPO and all, right? Or maybe whenever some compliance related things, so technical audits happen. And chaos engineering actually is leading in that. So whenever a startup goes for an IPO and all, chaos engineering certification is very much required. Okay. Yeah. Anyways, these are some things related to chaos engineering. I wanted to give a more sort of like a understanding the importance of chaos engineering and what chaos engineering really focuses on, so that you have a proper understanding before you start off with some experiments and all. So any questions, anyone till now?
Uh,
Ish-
yeah, Vishnu. So, what are all the failures? What are the testing that we are going to cover in as part of this course, like a
Yeah, so see,
failover?
there are majorly 12 types of attacks. Okay, there are a lot of attacks. It's not 12, but generally in your projects, see more sort of chaos is actually, if you see, a lot of open source tools are there in the market. Okay, that's why what is happening is they keep creating some innovative attacks and all, but actually most of them are useless. Okay, but if you see, if you focus on 5 to 6 attacks of those, you can uncover a lot of low hanging fruits. I mean, like issues. Okay, and that's what we will be seeing, those 5 types of mainly black hole latency, and each attack has a different use case, right? Where you need to apply it, why you need to apply it, what is the objective behind doing each attacks, right? And where we need to observe, like what components might get affected. Let's say you're testing in SQS, it's a different attack. If you're testing a, let's say, DynamoDB or a DB, it's a different type of attack. Now let's say you're testing a microservice, it's a different attack. And group, I will not say different attack, but a group of different attacks. uh, and if you, let's say, if you're testing a dependent service, it's a different type of group attack. So based on the use case, the attack and how to define those things, we will see, okay, with a lot of examples.
I've added them into the chat, but if that helps.
Yeah, let me see. Okay, I didn't see. Oh, okay, yeah. Yes, yes, right. So it's a gremlin attacks, and out of this, as I said, see, all these I will explain what they are. But out of this, if you see, in reality, 6 or 7 attacks out of these are the most important ones, generally, and that will actually cover your 80 to 90% of your production issues, whatever you observe in the uh, like in the current applications and all. I hope I was able to answer like the question. Yeah, anyone else? Any other doubts, queries?
So, Vishnu, how we can conclude whether the attack is success and the
Mhm.
criteria that we are looking for is achieved? How we
Yes,
can
exactly.
determine from?
Right, right. So that is where we will see, okay, in the upcoming sessions and all, how you monitor, how you report, how you observe, what you observe, right? Those things we will discuss, Ajit, in the upcoming sessions.
Aditya, again, I've put those first 5 kind of bullet points as to what I understood from the chaos engineering training that I've done on Gremlin. If you want to add more to them, Vishnu, please feel free to add them. But I think
Yeah.
analysis of results is the way that we kind of compare that our hypothesis is kind of delivering on what we expectation is.
Faisal, can you repeat? It was a question to me, or you were speaking to Ajit?
No,
I thought.
I think I'm adding, so I'm
Yeah,
informing
yeah, right, right.
that
Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
those are the
I
5.
thought maybe a question to me, so that's why I
No,
said.
the question to
Yeah,
you, Vishnu, is thank you so much. And
yeah.
if you feel like there's more than just those 5, feel free to add
Yes,
more.
yes. Sure, sure. Yeah. Yeah,
Those are
so
just
see,
my
it's
ideas.
going to be a very long journey, right? So we are just starting off with, right? And if you see, when we set up Gremlin, Chaos Mesh, uh, things will be similar. For example, whatever you do in Gremlin, in Chaos Mesh also, only the options might change. But what you do with an attack, how you do it, what are the use case, things will be common, right? Whether
Mm,
it's Gremlin, whether it's Chaos Mesh, attack is same only, right?
mm,
So if you learn about latency attack, what it does, which use cases you can apply it, what are the problematic areas you can uncover from that attack, it's same for both Gremlin and Chaos Mesh. You just need to know that. Then whatever tool you use, anyways, you'll be able to, right? So that's the whole point. So we have to understand. That's the main question we need to answer. How, what are these attacks, and how and where to use it? That's a very, very important,
mm.
right? Yeah, it's not that we go blindly. Yeah, yeah. Any more doubts, anyone? Anything else, or else
Vishnu, yeah, Vishnu, can you, if possible, can you tell me, yeah, like how we generally we proceed for a network latency test? What is the object of the test, and what is the procedure generally we follow? If case
tomorrow
mesh.
we will see an example, Srinivas. Okay,
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
we will see an example. We will do it with Gremlin. Okay, and that time I will also explain. I mean, like in a high level way, because If
Okay.
I cannot go very deep because we'll be seeing that example in the upcoming sessions. Okay,
Yeah.
but I
Okay.
will
Okay.
be showing you in a high level overview.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. How and where to introduce the chaos engineering test, Faisal? So can you elaborate the question little?
So I mean, based on the ones that I've broken down around resource state um, and a network, is how do we apply them, and where at what kind of like point would you do those?
Yeah, that we will discuss, Faisal. When we understand the tools, no, how we attack, how we run, and all. That time we will discuss.
Sorry, a bit eager there.
Yeah, yeah,
I
that's
am a
fine.
bit of a chaos into
Yeah,
your.
happy that you are eager. That's good. At least that eagerness I have to. I mean, like that is what we require, anyways.
But please don't name your chaos engineering tests as Faisal.
Yeah. Lush. So Faisal, where are you
So,
located now currently?
I'm currently located in the UK.
Oh, okay, right. So you're. I don't think so. Timing is a very big issue for you, maybe.
No, timing is a big issue because I've got a very busy family.
Okay.
But I will do my best to attend the
Yeah.
Saturday,
But
Sundays.
its timing it won't be a big issue. See, generally this I observe. Okay, it's not that all 20 sessions you might be able to attend. That's a frank thing. Okay, because we are all professionals. We work, so it's not that sometimes some issues will come. Some even we might have some meetings and all. We might not be able to attend. But that's why the recordings are there, right? It's there for you, in like always. So just go through the recording, come back the next day with the questions, right? So that's always there. So that option is surely there. But I
I
will
think
not
the
prefer
individual
that. Yeah.
prioritizing your priorities on where you want to
Yes,
get
correct.
because
Yeah.
if I don't dedicate the time in developing myself in this field, then I'm
Yeah.
losing. It's not that
Right,
not
right. Yeah.
the course is
Yes,
losing,
yes.
the course doesn't
Yeah.
care. It
Yeah.
still
Because yeah, this prioritization word, right? This last whole week I have heard it a lot because the upcoming the upcoming week it's like the total I mean like world is going freeze.
yeah.
No one is there.
Everything you have to stop everything if you want to
Yeah,
do this. You prioritize it in your life and get it done.
yeah. Right, right.
I have a one thing to
Yes, yeah,
discuss here.
yeah,
In
yeah, Raj.
upcoming sections, can we
Mm.
spend some 5 minutes or 10 minutes to discuss comparisons, right? Because when we have to present any POC or whiteboard to
Yeah,
the
we
organization,
have
they
that. We have that,
definitely
Raj. Yeah.
ask, okay, what did you
Mm.
figure out? Gremlin versus
Yes,
Kayas
yes,
Mesh
yes. Yeah,
versus Kayas Toolkit, Kayas. Why
yeah.
you are recommending us to
Mm.
go this, right? So
Correct, correct. So
that will.
around 5 to 8 tools we will be covering. Okay, or 12 if I remember. So you will have a very detailed comparison between all the tools: Chaos Blade, Chaos Monkey, Chaos Toolkit, then AWS FIS, then lot of Litmus, then Powerful Seal. We will be comparing lot of tools. Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, yeah, Raj. So because as I said, see now this course is very mature. Okay, it's almost 10 to 14 batches which I have taken. So already know what are the interests of people and where the questions like what they need to know even in the industry also. Because okay, let me stop the recording.
This conference will now be recorded.
Yeah. So so basically we will be setting up all these things like the cube system, monitoring, sock shop. The whole thing will be done and everything will be done on your local machine and everyone will do it. It's not that only I will do it. Only the AWS part, maybe a half an hour or 1 hour session, which I will take, that is optional because that AWS part, I want to show you how you create an EC2 instance, what is a EC2 instance and that is basically for those who are new to AWS, who haven't seen cloud and all, right? So that
Yeah.
I am keeping it optional for you all because there you need to create a free trial account, use your credit card and all, little risky, right? So I'm not forcing everyone, but that's just an hour or so, not more. But
But
all other things,
these days it's going as mandatory, right? Every
yeah,
organization is on
right,
AWS. Nobody has
yeah,
on local
correct.
machines or something.
Yes, yes. So that we will be seeing, okay, in a high level way how AWS work, and later on, see, only thing is now local machine, what you have is on cloud. That's all is the difference between that, right? Whatever we do on Kubernetes in local machine, you will be able to do it on the cloud also. Same thing, nothing
Yeah.
different. right?
And
And
just
also,
one thing,
yeah, Raj.
Vishnu sir, for benefit of everyone, just to give us the just overview of these terminologies, right? Especially comes under the
Yes, yes,
Kubernetes,
everything.
because I got confused when I started with this chaos engineering as well as
Mm.
Kubernetes, what this cluster means, and under the
Yeah,
cluster
right,
we
right.
have the
No,
different
no worries
namespaces.
at all. As I said, prerequisite is zero. Okay,
Yeah,
you come with zero knowledge. You will go with the knowledge of Docker, container, pod, services, deployments, Kubernetes, probes, and whatever we will be covering in this course. Okay,
yeah, yeah,
you will get very. I mean, like you won't be able to. I mean, like after this session, you won't be able, like you won't say that I don't know about these things.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
you
Because
will know.
I
Yeah.
got confused when I started discussing with the requirements. They started telling, okay, can you cover the
Yeah.
test cases based on the container, based on the pod, based on the cluster? So I got little nervous. What the hell these people are
Yeah.
talking about? This terminology is something new to me. How do I see the total containers in the cluster again?
Mhm.
This
Yeah.
something. So
Right. Right. Yeah. Yeah. So no worries. No worries. It's a very small piece of cake. Okay. Yeah. After this course, you will feel, oh, this is this much only. Why didn't
thank
I
you.
learn it before? That's all. Okay. So no worries. It will be. It will be. I will explain you it in such a very simple, basic way that you will feel okay. This is like a simple Windows operating system or Windows machine. That's all.
Yeah, I
Okay.
actually am the part of your Jmeter section sometime, but I
Oh.
was
Okay.
unable to continue because of the
Uh-huh.
conflicts. I
Okay.
really like the way you explain. So when I
Yeah. Yeah.
saw
Thank
this
you.
chaos engineering by Vishnu, then I thought, okay, let's join now.
Oh, that's actually thanks, Raj, uh, because yeah, that's a live testimonial for all.
Vishnu, very quick one from me.
Yeah.
Are you able?
Faisal, one more thing. So you asked this question. Can you all set some, yes, exercise? What I will do, no? I will be giving an exercise every Sunday after we finish the session.
Yeah,
Okay, so that, as I said, it's not compulsory for all. It's a casual assessment
yeah,
or a
yeah.
exercise which you can do and come back in the next weekend. If you don't do it also, it's totally fine. It's your call. Only thing is, but I will suggest that all of you go through my recording, and whatever I'm doing, you do it. Okay, because anyways you have 5 days between, right, break. Better to do it so that you don't forget. And also, what, see, some, when I do, things might work, right? But when you do, things might go wrong or it might not work. So you can ask me doubts. So if you do it, you'll be able to ask that doubts, right? So better to perform those things rather than keeping it for the last sessions, right?
Again, I'm causing a bit of chaos. I'm asking you questions on chat as well as
Yeah.
asking in voice. The other question that I've got, which is
Mm.
around you mentioned the Chaos Gremlin certification.
Yeah.
Is it a separate one, or is it the one that Gremlin provide? Because I've already done that one.
So you have two certifications. Okay, one is Gremlin. You would have completed the practitioner or the enterprise one, right?
Yeah.
And there is one pro certification also. You can also attend that, but don't attend now. Attend it after I finish the course. Okay. And second one is the one you will get from the Isha. That is a different certificate of
Okay.
course completion of this chaos engineering course. So totally, actually, you can clear 3 certifications with this course.
Yeah, I'm not sure which one I passed, but I passed one of them,
Yeah,
and
you would have passed the enterprise one, the first one.
the free one. Yeah.
Yes, yes, correct.
Okay.
Both are free. Even pro is also free only, but it takes a little bit of work, not like enterprise.
I'll hold on for that one.
Yeah, yeah, you need to do something little hands-on and all, then only you will be able to yeah, it might be little bit of tough compared to enterprise.
So who do I speak to about like processing payment? Do I speak to you've got your I think I'm speaking to a lady
Yeah,
on
Anita, right? Okay, I will do one thing for that purpose. I will put one message in the group just now. Let me put it. You can speak to those, I mean, like that numbers. Yeah, make sure you speak to them only, because even we have seen there are multiple people in the group, no?
yeah.
So let's not. So I will put it now here in the group.
Definitely, we want your LinkedIn profile, Vishnu sir,
Sure,
just to
sure.
add in
I
our
will be sharing.
contact.
Yeah, yeah. I have a very good network. Okay, so you can utilize
Yeah,
that
that
network.
actually helps us to
Yeah.
find
Yes,
the
yes.
jobs as well.
Yeah, I keep reposting good I mean like in my network, right? Whichever.
Yeah. Thank you.
So yes, it will be useful. I will share. Okay, surely I will share.
And one more request: don't ever say that it's not mandatory, because when you say that what not mandatory, not compulsory, we become very lazy. As a
Right,
trainer,
right.
we
Yeah.
would request you to
No,
be
why
little
I said
strict.
this is why I said this is because see, if I make it mandatory and all, they might get worried. Oh, maybe I will get certificate only if I.
No, no,
So
no. When you say like you people has to do this one, then the
right, right.
benefit of yourself,
Yes,
then
yes, correct.
like we feel okay, we are
No,
somebody
because
watching us.
one more thing is there. Even if you don't do exercises, if you listen to whatever I'm saying very properly, right, and if you try to grasp the
Uh,
essence of it, things are more like an exercise only. Okay, that I
yes,
observed. Yeah,
thank you.
because I still remember. Know a monthly I get one message of one or the other guy from my chaos engineering getting cleared in an interview. Even sometimes it might be first level of interview. Yes, it has also happened. Second level, I didn't get some message that whether he cleared it or not. So I asked them. Some cleared the second round also. First round, surely they have cleared most of them, and I get like at least monthly one or two like this. Okay, so yes. So what I said is chaos engineering is actually booming in the industry, and especially people who have knowledge in performance and chaos both, they have very much I mean like demand.
Yeah.
Okay.
The
Yeah.
thing that's upcoming is, have you seen the hacker rank tests?
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
hacker rank
Hmm.
is a test.
Yeah, I know.
Maybe we tailor some of the learning material around that. That would be really helpful.
Right, right. Okay. Yeah, let me check it out. Okay, whatever you need, you can just drop me a message, uh, and whichever way I can help, I will surely. Okay.
No worries.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to drop off now, Vishnu. So thank you so much for your
Sure, sure.
help.
Yeah. Even we will wrap it up for today, and let's continue tomorrow. Thank you all, and have a very good day. Thank you,
Thank you.
Take care.
and good weekend. Yeah. Meet you all tomorrow. Thank you.
Tomorrow's Monday.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Oh,
Tomorrow
tomorrow is
Sunday.
Sunday, right? Yeah.
Oh, Sunday. Sorry, I'm
Yeah.
missing a day.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Okay, Faisal.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Bye. Bye.